This is about what I expect from this, by the way. Okay. Like on this side, but it feels so bad because there are like people in these rooms. Like, oh my god, hi. Like, I kind of get how this. Oh, okay. Maybe this is fine. Is this? I have. How do you fix the settings? Edit. I want the microphone updated. How do you fix the microphone? Okay, I'm managing the microphone. Oh, the analog. Does that work better? I have no idea. I'm gonna like pray it works better. I'm gonna put this like here. Oh no, I'm lighting. This is the best place for the festival. I'm like, how do I like be like? I fucking hate looking at the camera. I'd rather just like have it to the side and then deal with it when I have to. And I do know why, and I'm like super aware of it too. Ah, it's gonna stay. Okay, so sorry, we're a little bit of a tilt angle. Okay, I don't know if the speaker works the way I think it does, but hello everybody. I'm obviously talking to my computer right now. I'm just like looking at myself. Hi camera, the camera's here. And I do understand where the camera is, but I actually do need to see myself sign. And I'm trying to make sure that someone's not gonna judge me for this sign language. So I'm trying to see what's going on. One second. Okay, I now. This microphone's the second one. And I'm trying to figure out if like this one works. The answer is okay. The answer is this one works. Is this like when I get to move this? Maybe. Oh no. Oh, okay, much better. That's fine. I can sit here like this. This is not a big deal. Okay, this is how a radio show works, so this is really fine. Yeah, okay, so if I mute this, it looks like nothing's happening. And if I'm not on mute, I look like I'm gaining audio. Let's hit record. Hello, everybody. Oh, let me just fix the video angle here because I actually do appreciate that. I kind of want it to be like strong and kind of in my face. And I want a little bit more torque on this wire. And I'll tuck that one back in the way. Ah, stay. There we go. So this is when you learn that like this is how someone like sets up, right? Like this is how it works. This is how setup works, by the way. Okay, I like this angle better for this. The lash check, so fine. I get like better ratio on my skin. Okay. Hi everybody, welcome to what might become a course in a second. Hi, my name is Karlie Mizrahi and I am an ex-teaching assistant from McMaster University. I am pretty upset with a group of people who are willing to call me white at this point, and I'm not really sure what we see about that. If you don't know, I am a brown on brown passing individual, which means when the police ID me, they ID brown hair, brown eyes, lighter skin. I'm not sure if some of you with blue eyes, blonde hair understand what your rate grain looks like to a police officer who's brown and then who's white. And I'm going to start there. If you would like to, the video of this recording is on YouTube, so you can see what I look like. Hello, I have my orange bracelet, my orange elastic on my right hand with my moon tattoo. And where's some like green on that? There. And then my left hand has my red skin elastic on it with my she, he pronouns. Hi, I am a two-spirit individual. I am likely two-spirit at this point. My dad passes as such mixed rate Indigenous that I'm actually not convinced that like there isn't an entire group grain problem with my specific side of the family. That being said, I am so against white Cree people taking up dominant space in Indigenous history. I am so sorry. If you have blue eyes, you are going to need to see the room. If you have green eyes, I'm going to ask you to see the room because this is racially inappropriate. This is white supremacy and leadership, and this is white protectionism clauses for a green-eyed rapist at this point. If you are new here, I am the victim of a years and a bit long series of assaults, and then about a 2.5 year series of assaults if I'm not careful. I was raped mid Battle of the Spotlights competition at XXX Numbers, which is Dana's revenge show from Canada's Drag Race Season 5. The individual who raped me is a they, them, non-binary performer who is your favorite NV lesbian of Vancouver apparently right now. Their name is Dyslexia, and this lip sync, I'm so sorry. Like, if you watch the video, you are more than welcome to witness what it looks like for an AV person to take off their girl version of their Ryan Evans look without a pink pussy dildo and shove it between someone's potentially packing legs. I'm kind of not down for that, like ever. I personally don't even want to say like I would never do that. I'd never let that happen to anybody else. Like, I'd never let that happen to anybody else. The individuals who are leading this hate brigade in Vancouver are predominantly white and or Cree and willing to call someone who looks like me a race swinger in order to keep their right players in a position of power. Dyslexia still works at the birdhouse pretty consistently and has been hired for Bimbo Van. And I've been blocked from that account now because I reminded everyone that there's a legal video of Dyslexia raping me in the comments. And I actually think that's called avoidance. Someone who runs this party, I personally know, and is way smarter than that. Own your shit, bitch. Own your shit. There's a rapist involved. And you sided with the rapist. And in the video, they do it. And then I almost punch. So if you want to jeopardize your own rape case, go right ahead. Your victimhood rape case, by the way, not your rape, by the way. Your victimhood in a rape. Don't misconstrue my words. Don't twist nothing. Watch the entire video and watch me run 20 to 25 minutes straight, which is hilarious. You all don't understand what a 3-hour lecture looks like. I used to sit in them for fun. For fun. Your little BFAs, your little like production degrees, they mean nothing to me. They literally mean nothing to me when I can sit in a production lecture, in a produced lecture for fun for 3 hours, okay? Like I learn for 3 hours in those rooms. I don't like sit there and goof off with my friend D in the back corner. I'm like, no, I'm drawing and I'm listening. Like I can pay attention and do something at the same time. Like I can watch a YouTube video, draw and retain the information and test on it correctly and positively, so long as it's not a multiple choice quiz, because that's the dyslexia I have personally. A multiple choice test where I second guess my grain rate so much that I side white incorrect occasionally. And I end up with like a 60% because I'm waiting to see if the teacher's that fucking racist that I have to pick the whitest right answer. And that's when I sometimes mid-fail. That's maybe white supremacy, right, Emily Carr graduates? I found out the other day that you all have Silence of the Lambs on your curriculum. I'd like to remind everybody that the curriculums in different universities aren't the same. You actually don't have to attend a university with a bad curriculum. If you're starting to witness that your curriculum is predominantly race white, you can like immediately apply to move. Please don't stay at a white university unless you're ready to fight legally. I personally left a whiter university knowing that they had a mixed Israeli clause that was a little too complicated for me to interact with, and it was really specific. If you think for a second that this like double hand thing is like air quotes, you're silly. You're silly. It's 10 minutes into this live stream, and if I can move my mouse at all, because I set up a room very small. If you know, you know, I am currently filming this at Vancouver Public Library. It's a fully live stream, and my intentional goal with this specific course and this specific level of interaction in the community, bless your soul, hi webcam, is a radio show. I think that this looks like a radio show. I think that provided these actually got back covered for lighting, you'd end up with a gorgeous shot. This Logitech webcam is fucking stunning and phenomenal, and the issue is I can't film here because of this. Do you see the lights in the window and how they interact with the space room? Yeah. And like how much more raised I look sitting right here in the middle here, directing my attention towards the webcam and actually trying to like figure out what the conversational rate of like this hitter is in light. So if I move my chair just slightly, so right now I'm sitting pretty straight on towards the computer. The camera is at like an approximate like 45-degree angle from my body in person. But if I move myself to like a direct parallel with the camera and shift the microphone, the room looks like this. And I get a much cleaner shot of myself. I get a much straighter angle shot. And it actually is specifically about putting yourself, hi, in this little box here. That being said, I'm not like tucking the camera up here. I'm literally too short. I'm literally too short. You can have it here and you can see my desk. Because this, the denial of a girl at a desk like this is your misogyny. Is your misogyny. I don't care what gender I present, perform, or exist in according to you. By the way, gender is not a performance. Sorry, I did get a teacher fired because I didn't agree with that statement. Gender is absolutely not a public performance every day of your life, and you should not treat it as such. You do not gain a role for gender performance. I'm not gaining a woman role right now, and I'm not gaining a male role right now. I'm actually just presenting gender as a complex conversation of like ethnic rate, because I actually do know that there's no in between. For most white people, there is legally no in between. And this is why we end up with books like this. This book, 1 second. Oh, so sorry to the person in the back. I'm trying so hard to cover this like issue. This book is called Loss of Indigenous Eden and the Fall of Spirituality by Blair Stonechild. I think maybe the concept of this book might be more important than the content of it on the concept of the fall of spirituality, because I actually don't necessarily think this is true. That's a security guard, whatever. Always from the VPD. That includes the security guards. And I actually am not sure if we recognize that like stuff like this is inherently a problem. The loss of Indigenous Eden is because girls with green eyes think they're Indigenous. And I will keep going because these are the books we picked up from the library today. Distorted Descent, White Claims to Indigenous Identity. And I'm really not sure what some of you think you look like. I'm really not sure what some of you think you look like. This is the web. If you come to the VPL, this is what you get. You get the little webcam taggy box. And I literally just unplug it, set it up. If I had my own, if I didn't have to deal with a white crew calling themselves Indigenous-ish enough to get on no matter what with green eyes, predominantly black coil curl hair leading the front, which whatever, I will tell you, you have green eyes. And this isn't a white claim to indigeneity. Some of you don't have tattoos. This book I'm going to consider as predominantly racially incorrect and correct, because on every study guide, these should be capitalized. I'm not sure who this is for. Lydia Martin's grandma wrote this one. Drumming Our Way Home. Intergenerational Learning, Teaching, and Indigenous Ways of Knowing by Georgina Martin. I think this one's probably the strongest like collateral that I have in this pile. I think that like the idea of the drum reverberates against the intergenerational aspects of colonialism is kind of like exactly the point. And that like this picture looks like me as a child. I'm not stupid. My nose is a little bit different than that. I'm not dumb though. I don't really see myself in like Paris Hilton. Okay. I don't really see myself in like Sabrina Carpenter. I don't really see myself in like. I see myself in like. It's a big conversation. Thank you. At least I'm filled. Northwest Coast, and okay, this is when I'm gonna like flip 180 to what this course is actually supposed to be about. It's this next three books, and it's the difference between them. So if you can tolerate the fact that every episode of Who's Wheelchair is who thinks that these are all written by the same tribe, it'll be that. It will be, are these all written by people from the same tribe? The answer is no. How many tribes do you think I'm holding in my hands? How many tribes do you think I'm holding in my hands? My guess is like 8, because some of them are Métis, some of them are mixed, and some of them write books like Lost in Indigenous Eden, because we still don't understand that Pocahontas isn't male like that. You can't call yourself a drag king and then say you do Pocahontas drag. You have to call yourself Two-Spirit and a drag queen. Sometimes you can't be adamant that that's masculinity. Do not take Pocahontas' identity for your Two-Spirit male clause. I'm personally a little more feminized than that consistently. And I'm not down for a they rapist, green-eyed, to then be frauding a bunch of mixed brown-eyed people in the middle by telling a bunch of reconnectors who's Indigenous and not. So you want to see my mouth move, it'll move. This is a big deal because this is where I put music in and where I'd like be like, on the music class, what do we do when Karlie-Hart brings the CD to class? I used to bring CDs to class for fun, and I do actually know why. I'm not like stupid about it. I brought CDs to class because of stuff like this. This book, Northwest Coast Indigenous Jewelry. Do you see how different this book is? Do you see how, like, I'm not gonna say gaudy because it's not gaudy, it's gold. Like, no, and you know what? Yeah, like I understand why the instinctual word for me is like positive gaudy, because it's rich, bitch. This is rich artwork. This is jewelry, motherfucker. Someone's carving jewelry here on the territory here. This is usually where I'm at. I understand that these are carved beads, like these are glass adjusted beads or like carved beads or whatever, yada yada yada. This is metal. There is a big difference. I'm trying to get like the good lighting angle. Between beads and metal. Beads and metal, motherfuckers. What do you think the Northwest Coast is doing with metal? And I'm saying I'm beating. I have no idea how many of you understand this one. Reclaiming Indigenous Planning by Ryan Walker, Ted Hohola, and David Natcher. I do. It's beautiful. The breaking of this straight medicine wheel I actually really respect. I don't think it's rude. I think the gray is on there for a reason. I think it's like tumultuous to consider it incorrect sometimes, but it's also tumultuous to consider the other one non-straight, like I like needing to be corrected. So I'm gonna stay on that because I got my medal around my neck. In 2 shades, by the way. I'm gonna keep it here and go back to reclaiming Indigenous planning. Because apparently I'm psychotic for saying there are sex workers without legs who probably need help and also an immediate fund. And I believe in the idea of an allowance fund for anyone who needs it. By the way, that's called an accidental emergency fund. And I don't believe anyone should have no money. I think everyone should have an emergency $40,000 a year for medical incidents, by the way, because I think that's disability. I think $40,000 a year is disability. I think everyone deserves a job. I think that's a part of the Ontario Act for disability, like disabled persons. So what's your clause here in BC? Dyslexia. Who's got dyslexia so much so that they rape bitches on stage? Sorry, swear word. This is when I usually take a break, but I'm actually understanding I'm still streaming live right now just to like prove that I can do this all in one hitter, and you'll see at half an hour probably me clock out because that's about when I expect to. Clicky clicky. I am at 17 minutes and 14 seconds on my Reaper, which is an audio software, by the way. The audio software called Reaper is actually a really, really, really strong potential freeware. I'm actually not sure. Let me look it up. Reaper is a 60-day free software. Reaper is not free. Someone says you can scam it. I appreciate that's how Adobe CS6 works now. Basically, any software that you think is free is probably not. Audacity is a freeware, and then so there's like an open source video software as well somewhere hiding on the internet. I can't remember where. I use it at Mac. But that's the point. Photoshop, Premiere Pro, anything that's in the Creative Cloud, Reaper, Final Cut Pro, all of these softwares that I also am trained in using, by the way. OBS is free, but you need a laptop that's able to run it. Most of these things can't run on Chromebooks. Welcome to the fact that this is a live stream on YouTube, because I actually just don't have the camera set up anymore. $10,000+ worth of my things has been like legally stolen from me at this point by Dyslexia and this rape group, or whoever's like condoning this apologism. And I'm actually like not quite sure how to say that. Like $10,000+ in lost property is greatism from a white person, and it is white racial supremacy. It's white racial grain, follow in, it's white dominant, and it's preference photoed. Because it is preference photoed, so many individuals are willing to photograph this little 5'2" nigger chaser who has got green eyes and likes doing this with titty things. And I'm more concerned we don't realize this isn't drag. If you watch the video, I'm like super aware that it looks like that. So sorry. And I'm really not down to do that in drag for money. I'm really not down to do that for that much pay. And I'm really aware that I'm like way more respectful of my female body, let alone my masculinized body from testosterone, than that. So if you're with me here, hi. Welcome to Who's Wheelchair with Karlie-Hart. This is basically your new TA level podcast where we break down the content of the quote unquote course for 20 to 40 minutes live, because apparently none of us can watch a Lindsay Ellis video anymore. I'm a little concerned that my personal subscriptions of choice are Criterion and Crave and a bunch of like JSTOR level softwares. And other people are like, I'm a PFA major and I really want to make sure that I can like PA around the rich ones. And I'm like, oh, I'll keep you out of my room when I get my directorial debut, actually. I'll keep you out of that room, like really intentionally. That being said, Who's Wheelchair will and always first and foremost be a podcast about Black disabled people, because fun fact, we finally got rid of the schizophrenia diagnosis. There is a new research paper that's come out that actually insinuates that the voices inside one's quote unquote head, or the compulsion to talk to oneself, actually is a lateral feature of experiencing systemic racism. This has been an open source freeware piece of information for years. Thank you so much. Please feel free to head to the link tree. Feel free to donate directly to me. Feel free to donate to Skeleton Samantha's. I have a beading company that I basically run for the emotional rate of freeware. I really don't see the point in anything but donations to a company like this, and I really don't see the point in not doing it. If I'm going to sit here and develop all of these curriculums, I'm also going to develop my art curriculum. I do believe art therapy is real, and I do believe that art therapy is real. There is no reason why only the white people get to be on stage doing quote unquote art therapy for your violence tropes. Absolutely not. Thank you so much for putting money into Indigenous artists not willing to put blood on their face sometimes. I hope you all have a great day. Bye now. Love, Karlie.